Hello everybody, my name is Mia and today we're gonna do our week 1 check for the month of October. I have a list here where I have all my monthly budget listed down, so we are going to check how much we spent for this week and how much we have left for the rest of the month. So for the first week of October, I didn't really spend that much. I just mostly spent on the priority expenses, which, like I said in my previous video, my goal is to pay myself first. So the moment I got my paycheck for this month, I immediately deposited 100 euros into my emergency fund. And by the end of this month, all the remaining money that we'll have left, hopefully we'll have much more left, we'll put more into our emergency fund later on. Okay? So also, whenever I get my paycheck, I send my mom some money for her allowance. So I spent 281 euros I sent to her. And to my little princess, I sent her allowance of 100. I do give her a monetary allowance every week, every month, even though I do give her food to bring to school anyways. So the goal for her is for her to learn how to manage her money so she can also buy extra things when she goes off from school. But the goal is for her to save a portion of this allowance of her into an interest earning account, and the rest she can spend on whatever she wants. Okay, so he sent her the 100 and I bought her some new earrings as well, which cost $12.99. So that's 112.99 euros for her. And for my groceries, I do have these trackers which I put in my wallet because I cannot do a cash envelope at the moment because all the withdrawals I do in the bank would cost additional fees. That's the policy in the bank that I have here in Ireland. Anyways, for any cash withdrawals, they do have extra fees, which I don't want to pay. So I do have my prepaid account, which is Revolut. So I send most of my spending money there. I have different vaults wherein I put all the funds I have. I have a separate one for groceries, for the miscellaneous or household expenses. So I think that we'll see how it will go later on, but for now, it seems to be working fine for me. What I just do now is I bring this with me in my wallet so that I'd know how much I have left to spend. So I still get that feeling of spending cash because every time I do a transaction, I can see how much I have left every time, okay? So for my groceries, the cutoff of my week is just until the 7th because I start my week on a Thursday, which I was paid on a Thursday, so we'll end it on Thursday as well. So in total, I spent 137 for groceries. And also, I started this kind of a savings challenge for myself. Well, it's not a challenge. It is to make room for my miscellaneous funds. So I didn't really set up a specific amount for my miscellaneous expenses or things I just forgot to budget. So what I did is I opened a vault into my Revolut account. So what it does is all the spare change I get would be sent into that vault. So my intention is if ever I forget to budget something, I have that extra envelope where I can grab my money from. If in case I have any unforeseen small transactions. So for this week, I got 3.44 from that, but I realized for this next week, I won't be putting it here in my expenses. I would just be rounding up my expenses or my transactions so that I won't see it in my tally. So it'll be like a spare change challenge, but instead I'm allocating those spare change into a specific purpose, which is for miscellaneous funds. Okay, let's move on. So I spent 137.52 for my groceries, so I have a remaining balance for the week of 262.48. Also saves me from computing more numbers later on. So it's actually nice to see every time you buy that. It's nice to see how much you have left. So there's still that psychology of even if I'm using a debit card, there's still that psychological thing that prompts you, oh, I'm spending too much. So which is a good reminder. Anyways, so for the rest, I didn't spend anything yet for the other categories. I did spend for Netflix. I did pay 8.05. Well, the reason that I have a budget of 10 euros and I only spent 8 euros for it in actuality is because my Netflix account is actually from the Philippines, so I'm still paying for it in pesos. I just didn't declare that I transferred to Ireland because my mom in the Philippines is also using that account, and it's harder for her if in case I change my location and she will be logged out from it in the Philippines, so it'll be hard for her to actually log back in. So I prefer to keep mine like that. And I managed to stay. This is one of my challenges for the month, no transportation fees. So yay, for this week I was able to do that. And for my princess expenses, I have I overspent for her. So I have 2 euros left, but I still have to pay for her mobile phone later on in the month. So for my mom, I only spent 281 for her, which is good, which is a good thing because I have some left for myself. So that will be 19 euros left. Okay, I'm just testing my math here. So I finally filled in some sinking funds for my health insurance. My health insurance, I pay this yearly. So I just put in a budget of 55 euros for the month, so that later on in the year when I have to renew my contract, I would have enough money and it won't pain my wallet later on. Same for my Sun Life is my life insurance, and I pay this quarterly. So again, I budget a little bit of money every month so that it won't hurt me later on in the when I have to pay for it in bulk. So for my obligations, I have 113 euros left. Bear with me, it's hard for me to add. I'm not so good in math, so it's 393.99. So that would mean I have 113 euros left. Okay, let's move on. So for my sinking funds or my lifestyle expenses, I didn't spend anything for this week. So that would be a 0. So that means I still have that 25 euros intact. And for my credit card, it's due on the 11th, but I pay it as soon as I get my paycheck. So I paid 185 into that account, and my loan is due on the 7th, which I paid 95.04. And this first loan is not due till the 24th, so we still have a good amount of money left. Okay, so as you can see, we still have, for my essential expenses, we spent only 145 euros and 57 cents. Sorry, I didn't put the balance remaining here. So this would mean we'll have 4 point. Okay, so we still have 1,200 left for our essential expenses. So far for this week, we didn't do so bad. I think, splurge a bit more on the grocery expenses, but I usually do spend more in the beginning of the month and then budget a bit less later on. I don't know, maybe we're hungry whenever we get our paychecks. So I do, it's typical for me to be spending a lot more on groceries in the beginning of the month. And we do stock a bit of pantry anyways, a bit of food in the pantry and snacks and all that. So that also helps lessen the expenses later on in the month. So another good thing is I was able to put in some money into my sinking funds. So hopefully it'll start working for me, because last month I wasn't able to manage it properly yet, because we're just starting with our sinking funds and I had to get some money out of it already. So I had a lot of negatives. But for this month, we're doing good. Very good. We're doing very good. We have a lot of balances left in our account. So good job to us for this week. And also for this week, I made an extra sale of 12 euros, which I got from selling one of my old dresses. So we're doing a good job for this week. Thumbs up. Positive cash flow for the week. Hopefully we can continue this for the next few weeks and we'll see how it'll go. Bye guys!